The moment you make a true decision, your life begins to change in ways you cannot immediately see. Most people spend years waiting for clarity, waiting for permission, or waiting for the perfect opportunity before they finally move forward. But life does not reward hesitation. It responds to commitment. The difference between the people who remain trapped in frustration and the people who create extraordinary lives is often one powerful choice made at the right moment. Inspired by the timeless teachings of Dr. Joseph Murphy, this message is a reminder that your mind becomes the foundation of your future the moment you decide to believe in something greater for yourself. Every successful person once stood exactly where you are now, facing uncertainty, fear, doubt, and confusion. They did not possess magical abilities or perfect confidence. What changed their lives was the decision to stop accepting limitation as their permanent reality. The human mind is far more powerful than most people realize. Your thoughts influence your actions, your habits shape your character, and your character ultimately creates your destiny. When you continue repeating the same routines, entertaining the same fears, and accepting the same excuses, your future remains unchanged. But the instant you decide to think differently, act differently, and expect more from yourself, a new direction begins to unfold. Many people underestimate how quickly life can shift after one bold decision. One decision to leave behind negativity. One decision to stop doubting your abilities. One decision to finally pursue your dream despite criticism from others. One decision to take responsibility for your future instead of blaming circumstances. These moments appear small at first, but they create momentum that can completely transform your life over time. Dr. Joseph Murphy often emphasized the extraordinary influence of the subconscious mind. Whatever you repeatedly believe and accept internally eventually expresses itself in your external reality. If you constantly tell yourself that success is impossible, your actions will reflect fear and limitation. But when you begin feeding your mind with belief, purpose, confidence, and determination, you start attracting opportunities, ideas, and energy that align with your new mindset. This is why your decisions matter so deeply. A decision is more than a temporary feeling. It is a declaration to yourself that you are no longer willing to remain where you are. The world changes when you change internally first. Your habits improve. Your focus sharpens. Your confidence grows stronger. Even your energy begins to shift because your mind starts working toward possibility instead of defeat. The truth is that your future is not created all at once. It is built through the decisions you make every single day. Every morning you choose whether to move closer to your goals or farther away from them. Every thought you entertain either strengthens your confidence or weakens it. The life you desire may be much closer than you think, but it requires the courage to make one powerful decision today instead of waiting for another year to pass. Most people never realize how much of their life is controlled by invisible patterns created in their own minds. They wake up every morning carrying the same fears, repeating the same thoughts, expecting the same disappointments, and then wondering why nothing changes. Inspired by the powerful teachings of Dr. Joseph Murphy, it becomes clear that the subconscious mind does not argue with the thoughts you repeatedly give it. Instead, it accepts them as truth and quietly shapes your behavior, decisions, and emotional state around those beliefs. This is why so many people remain stuck in cycles they desperately want to escape. They may dream about success, happiness, financial freedom, or personal growth, but deep inside, they continue believing they are not worthy, capable, or ready. That hidden belief becomes the barrier that blocks progress. The mind always moves in the direction of your strongest expectations. If you constantly focus on fear, failure, rejection, or limitation, your actions begin reflecting hesitation and insecurity. You delay opportunities, avoid risks, and settle for less than you truly desire. Over time, this becomes your normal reality. But the moment you interrupt that mental pattern and replace it with belief, intention, and purpose, everything starts shifting. Your thoughts begin influencing your emotions differently. Your emotions influence your actions differently. Your actions create new habits, and those habits slowly build an entirely different future. This transformation does not happen because of luck or coincidence. It happens because the human mind responds to repetition and emotional conviction. When you repeatedly tell yourself that your life can improve, your subconscious mind begins searching for ways to make that belief real. Opportunities that once seemed invisible suddenly become noticeable. Ideas begin flowing into your mind. Confidence starts replacing fear. Even your posture, energy, and communication begin changing because your inner identity is evolving. One of the greatest mistakes people make is believing they need perfect confidence before taking action. In reality, confidence is created through action itself. The people who achieve extraordinary things are not fearless. They simply refuse to let fear make their decisions for them. They understand that growth only happens when you move beyond what feels comfortable. Every major transformation begins with discomfort because your old habits resist change. Your mind naturally wants to protect familiar routines, even when those routines are limiting your potential. This is why discipline becomes more important than temporary motivation. Motivation comes and goes, but disciplined thinking creates lasting results. Dr. Joseph Murphy taught that what you impress upon the subconscious mind eventually becomes expressed in your daily life. If you consistently feed your mind with determination, gratitude, belief, and purpose, you begin creating internal conditions for success long before external results appear. The process starts within before it becomes visible outside. This is why patience and persistence are so important during moments when progress feels slow. Every positive thought, every disciplined action, and every courageous decision is shaping the person you are becoming. The life you desire is not reserved for a special group of people. It becomes available the moment you decide to change the way you think, believe, and act every single day. There comes a moment in every person's life when excuses lose their power and reality becomes impossible to ignore. Deep down, you already know whether you are moving toward the life you truly want or drifting further away from it every single day. Inspired by the teachings of Dr. Joseph Murphy, this truth becomes impossible to escape because the mind reflects whatever you consistently feed it with attention, emotion, and belief. If you continue feeding your mind with fear, distraction, negativity, and self-doubt, your future will mirror those same conditions. But if you begin filling your mind with purpose, confidence, discipline, and clear vision, your life starts moving in an entirely different direction. The greatest battle most people face is not external circumstances. It is the internal war between the person they are today and the person they know they are capable of becoming. Many individuals spend years trapped in routines that slowly drain their energy, passion, and belief in themselves. They convince themselves that someday things will improve, yet they never change the habits or decisions creating their current reality. Time continues passing while their dreams remain locked inside their imagination. This is why decisive action is so powerful. The moment you stop waiting for ideal conditions and begin acting with intention, you activate forces within yourself that have been asleep for years. Your potential does not disappear because of failure or difficulty. It disappears when you stop believing in your ability to rise beyond your current situation. Every successful person has faced moments of uncertainty where quitting felt easier than continuing. The difference is that they refused to allow temporary emotions to control permanent decisions. They understood that growth requires persistence even when results are not immediately visible. Most transformations happen quietly before they become obvious to the outside world. A seed spends time growing beneath the surface before anyone sees evidence of life above the ground. Human transformation works the same way. Long before success becomes visible externally, changes begin happening internally. Your mindset strengthens. Your focus sharpens. Your tolerance for excuses weakens. You start valuing your time differently because you finally recognize how precious your future truly is. Dr. Joseph Murphy often emphasized that the subconscious mind responds strongly to repeated emotional impressions. This means your daily thoughts are either building your future or silently destroying it. When you repeatedly imagine failure, your body responds with fear and hesitation. But when you repeatedly focus on possibility, confidence, and achievement, your subconscious mind begins organizing your behavior around those expectations. This is why visualization, belief, and emotional discipline are not meaningless concepts. They directly influence the direction of your life. The world you experience externally is deeply connected to the world you create internally. Many people underestimate the importance of protecting their mental environment. The voices you listen to, the conversations you entertain, the information you consume, and the people surrounding you all influence your thinking patterns. If you constantly expose yourself to negativity and limitation, your mind absorbs that energy over time. But when you intentionally surround yourself with growth, inspiration, wisdom, and purpose, your thinking begins expanding beyond previous limitations. Your future changes the moment you decide that remaining average, fearful, and stuck is no longer acceptable for your life.